Hello and welcome to Dabbling in Journals, and today is one of my favourite videos to share because I have some travel journaling to share with you, and as a big lover of travellers' notebooks, I really enjoy using them for actually travelling, which is something I very rarely do and I really would love to do more of. So I have my Traveller's Notebook travelling set in my regular brown Traveller's Notebook, and I have my little travelling sketchbook in my camel passport size Traveller's Notebook to share with you. And I will also insert a few little video clips of our trip away. So let's get right into it. So as I said, this is my brown Traveller's Notebook and this is my travel insert. And I've used it previously. I've already shown you. I did a camping trip in 2020 in between lockdowns. And then I did a camping trip in 2021 with just my partner, and we had a wonderful time and I really enjoyed that. And now we've had another little trip away, finally. Oh, and I hope to have so many more. And this time it was July 2023 and we went to the Peak District. But where we actually stayed was right on the edge of the Peak District. In fact, I'm not even sure if it was quite in it. I'm not sure because I don't know the geography. But we stayed in a campsite called Riddings Wood, and that was really cool. We had a really nice place to stay and I will share that with you shortly. So on my title page, I just did a photograph of the wood, and our cabin was nestled in the wood, and I will show you what that looked like shortly. But on this page, I've just used some washi paper and some washi tape. And I've added some stickers, and this one says there is beauty in simplicity, and this campsite was definitely up there for simplicity as you will see in a minute. And I've put my little Jackie stamp, my little coffee cup with my initial A on this page, and I used my MU travel stamp on this page too. So the next page of my travel journal is my packing list. So I always like to do a packing list. It wasn't a very detailed packing list this time because I keep all of my stuff in the same place in our attic so that it's easy for me to pull out. And I just, look back on my previous packing lists and made one for this time. And I don't think I forgot very much. I forgot a couple of things, so I need to refine my packing list, but I've just used some washi tape and some of these London Gifties pet tape images, which I think are particularly beautiful. And we put all this stuff in the car. We've got a tiny little car and we put all the stuff in the car. The dogs were in the boot, my partner was in the front, and my son was in the front because he's 6 foot tall, so he needs the leg space more than me because I'm shorter. Not much actually, but I'm very kind. And I was squished in the back, so I'm just going to insert a little clip of me squished in the back with all of my stuff. So we're off and I'm very squished in the car and the doggies are very excited. So as you see, there was a lot of stuff on the back seat with me, but I did have that very special coffee cup I showed you, which is made from rice husks. I'd not heard of that before, but apparently when they do stuff with rice, you get lots of leftover rice husks because nobody wants to eat that bit, and you can use it to make things like coffee cups. How cool is that? So that was my little rice husk coffee cup that just, kept me going in the car in my little squash space. So the next thing I did in my travel journal is my campsite information. I always do that. I like to write down all the information. I know it's always on my phone, but you never know whether there'll be no signal or something like that when you get to a campsite. So I like to have it all written down, and it also means that I can remember where we went. If anybody says, oh, I'd like to go there, I can give them that information. And on this page, I use this beautiful image of a camper van. We don't have a camper van. I wouldn't wouldn't mind having a camper van. But we don't have one, but I really thought that was a nice image to use on a campsite information page, so I did. It was one that it's one from a collection of stuff that was gifted in a Happy Mail that I've kind of been hoarding, but I did manage to use that one alongside my coffee washi tape that Emily gifted to me, one of my favorites. And I did a little collage here just with some washi paper and some stickers here and a little bit of stamping and some washi tape, and I really love how that looks. So on my next page we arrived in Dovedale, so we set off and we didn't go straight to the campsite. We went first to Dovedale, which is in the Peak District. It is absolutely one of the most beautiful places I think I have ever been. I don't know whether I'm just not remembering, but when I got there, I just thought, oh my goodness, this place is so beautiful. So it's in like a ravine. You've got the river running through the bottom, and then these huge limestone, what do you call them? They're not mountains, are they? They're like hills. They're very impressive. I really loved it. And the sides were really steep. I had a little go of painting it. I will show you later. It wasn't a proper painting or anything. I just did a little sketch in my little sketch journal, but I just could imagine how amazing it would be to just sit there for hours and try and paint that amazing natural beauty. Wow. Anyway, my son was really enjoying himself. You can see him here. He's sat on a tree stump and he's enjoying watching the water rippling past him. He's like me. He really loves water. So let me just insert a little video clip of this beautiful location that we visited. Right, now let me turn the page, and here we are at the most iconic part of this particular location, which is the Dovedale Stepping Stones. And as you can see here, I've gone with a light blue theme because it's like a bluey grey theme, because I thought it kind of went with the photographs that I took. So that's my son going across the stepping stones, and that's me taking a picture of my feet. I don't know what that white stuff is on my welly. I think it was some kind of like mineral that was there on the path that just like stuck itself to my welly boot. But I'm on the stepping stones there, and it was so much fun. I mean, Theo really enjoyed himself going across the stepping stones, and it wasn't too busy because it's quite a iconic tourist location, so sometimes it does get very busy, but we were there on a not great weather day in the middle of the week, and so it was fine. But our dogs, they would not go across these stepping stones. Ewan tried like loads of times. There was no way, and the river's not very deep here. The stepping stones were actually put there. They are limestone cap stones, and they were put there during the Victorian times to enable people to cross the river to carry on and explore the wonderful hikes that are available here. Anyway, our dogs said no, they weren't going over the stepping stones and they weren't going in the river here, and they were really started to get a little bit anxious, so Ewan had to take them away because obviously we didn't want to upset our dogs. So what happened was Theo went across, I went across, and then Theo and I walked back this way across the path so that Ewan on this side of the river could walk that way back past and go over the bridge with the dogs so that he could meet us and we could carry on with our walk. But Theo and I had lots of fun crossing the stepping stones, and Ewan didn't get that experience because he had to take the dogs to a bridge. That's so funny. I mean, you think that dogs would be brave, but in fact they're not always brave. But it was so beautiful there. It was so beautiful there. But don't worry, the dogs had lots of fun later on. So here we are a little bit further along the walk, and Theo is enjoying himself playing in the trees. And you know what? He's 15 and most of the time he's almost a man, but occasionally he goes back to being a child. And he has that lovely kind of spontaneous, I want to run around here, I want to hide, I want to explore the undergrowth kind of motivation that you see in younger children, and he still has it, and he's so lucky to still have that. I think anyway. So on this page I just did a little collage here with some more of that lovely washi paper and this little like vellum piece that Marie gifted to me. I've got some stickers and obviously one of my girls, and we had a whale of a time. And the dogs at this point, we had crossed the river, we'd gone back to meet Ewan. There was almost no one on that side of the river because all the other people were, you know, being brave and crossing the stepping stones. So we were able to let our dogs off lead and let them have a little bit of fun and a little bit of paddle. So I'll show you a video clip of that now. Good girls. Middle, where are you, good girls? Okay, go on then. Okay. Oh, it's nice here. It's raining. Of course it's raining. We're in England. Not too high. Okay, so they were definitely having fun, wouldn't you agree? And then after we'd left the Dovedale stepping stones, we were very fortunate in that we finished our walk and headed back to the car park where there was a lovely coffee van. And just as we got there, the heavens opened and it was pouring with rain, because unlike most of Western Europe who are having a heat wave, and I have to just pause briefly and say my heart goes out to the people in Western Europe. Is it Western Europe, Southern Europe, whichever part of Europe it is, which is currently on fire. It's been so hot, and the unusual weather conditions have caused horrendous wildfires in parts of Europe, Greece in particular. And as I said, my heart goes out to those people. And I feel sort of guilty that when I was having my little mini break and feeling cross about the rain and the weather, at least that weather wasn't harming anybody, whereas the heat wave in Europe, which is causing the wildfires, is harming a lot of people. And I am so sorry for that. Anyway, back to my trip. Is that callous to go back to my trip after having mentioned all that suffering that's going on in some parts of Europe? And surely people by now believe that global warming is a real thing, because for goodness sake, look at the effects. Anyway, I mustn't get political, otherwise YouTube will like stop my video or something. I don't know. I'm going back to my travel journal. And so after we had been to Dovedale, and you've just seen the little clip, we then went and we had our cup of coffee and we left the car park because it was absolutely tipping it down with rain. So then we went off to find our campsite. Now, we weren't camping as such because you saw how squished the car was. There was no way we were getting a tent in there. We do have a roof box for our car, but we still didn't think we could get everything we would need in a camp. We can if we don't have Theo with us, then we can get everything in the car. Then we have the whole of the back seat as well as the roof box. But we had Theo with us, which was lovely. And so we didn't camp. And so we stayed in here. Look, it was called a lodge. It was like a glamping pod. And it was just a glorified shed. I don't know if you have the term shed everywhere in the world, but in the UK, the term shed is like a little wooden structure that's just for keeping gardening tools in, and it was very much like a shed. And we really enjoyed it. It was fine. So we got to our little lodge location, and on this page I've just written about that, and I have put some more washi paper and stickers and a bit of my new pet tape, which I absolutely love. So that was a piece of that, and here too I think that's a Sticky Club sticker and another Sticky Club sticker. And we got to our little lodge, and as you can see, we had booked the dog lodge because it had like a fence all the way round so that our dogs supposedly couldn't escape. But River, who's very ingenious and not stupid, realised she could jump from this table up over the fence. So Ewan and Theo had gone for an explore in the grounds. I was left with the dogs, but I was inside unpacking, and River escaped. Oh my gosh, she escaped. And luckily Nimue, that's this little one here, she barked her head off to let me know that River had legged it. So I came out, I managed to recall her, which was lucky because River can be quite, what's the word? She can be quite willful. She doesn't always do what she's told. Nimmy always does. Nimue, her baby, she's really, really good. I think it's because she was our second one and we were better at training by the time we got to her. She's really, really good. But and she was nowhere she was going to try and escape. But River, her mummy, she has a more willful disposition. That's where I'm going to put it. Anyway, I got them safely back. Whew, all was well. So we were in our little lodge here. And then on my next page, here we have Theo exploring our lodge. And as I said, we were in a little shed. There was a little bathroom with a shower and toilet and vanity, which was lovely. There was a little cooking area. And then there was this bed, which was kind of raised on wood. And Theo really seemed to enjoy himself hiding underneath. And then there was a sofa bed. So it slept 4 people, or in our case, 3. So I've put here, Theo was nostalgically childlike as they explored our little glorified shed. It was lovely and clean and really cosy. And on this page, I've used some more washi paper in this lovely burnt orange colour, which is so much my favourite. I've added stickers. Oh, this sticker comes from a happy mail that I haven't shared with you yet. I had a happy mail from the lovely girl whose channel is called Snippets and Scraps, and I will be sharing that happy mail in a video very soon. I used this wonderful pet tape that is my current favourite, and I think I've shared in a previous video, so I will put links for that below if I remember, which I might not. Like, oh, this was also from Snippets and Scraps, this amazing burnt orange pineapple washi tape. Oh, I'm giving you a preview of some of the wonderful things she sent to me that I've already used because I couldn't wait. But that video will come out shortly. So yes, we were in this lodge and we had a lovely time. We didn't care about the weather because we were together. We had a hot tub, which was gorgeous. It was so hot when we got there. The temperature in the hot tub was so hot, like you had to gingerly dip your toe in and slowly get in. And it did make Theo feel a bit funny. So after our first little dip in the hot tub, we did turn the temperature down for him because it really was. I mean, I loved it because I really love hot temperatures. I mean, I should live somewhere near the equator. Not England, where it's always raining and cold, although I don't want to be near those fires. I love hot, but Theo's not so keen. So we turned the temperature down. But we had this amazingly lovely evening. playing games together. We played werewolf and exploding kittens, if any of you know those games. We couldn't stop laughing and jeering at each other and shouting at each other. It was a wonderful time. Really good quality family time. And I love this page. Oh, and have you noticed how I've been trying to use different ink colours? I think I have, yes. I've been using different ink colours. Yay, with all my pens are all linked up with different colours. So here is my normal Ambre de Bermane. And here I've got a green colour. I'll have to link them below because I can't remember what they're all called. Pretty sure that's a sailor one. This is my blue colour that's in my lovely little Coeco blue pen. And the green colour is in my lovely olive Coeco pen. See green and blue. Perfect. And then, oh, back to green. And then this one I was using, I'm just going into my Euroluku pouch, and I had this new pen that I showed you just before I went away, which is beautiful, and it's made of all American walnut. Absolutely gorgeous pen with a twisty lid, which I always love because I think they're less likely to leak. And this is the one that has the Omniflex nib, and I put this sailor ink in it. I'll link the colour below because I can't remember. It's got a number, and I'm not sure what I think of this Omniflex nib, guys. It didn't feel any different to any other kind of nib to me. It was nice and smooth to write with. I didn't particularly love my handwriting with it compared to my broad nibs in my Coecos. That's got a broad nib. That looks like it's got a broad nib. I didn't see anything that special, but I think I need to practice more with it. But it was still lovely to write with. It was lovely and smooth and gorgeous to hold and gorgeous to behold. Gorgeous to hold and gorgeous to behold. That's not even a rhyme, is it? Because it's the same word. Anyway, let's move on. So we've done that page. As I said, I used this lovely pet tape and all kinds of bits and pieces. And I think this is the last page in my travel journal. I use these little cutouts. These are like a die that I have that cuts out little picture frames which make your picture framed. I don't know how else to put it. And I really like the look of that on the picture. So I'm going to cut some more of those out before I go to Paris. And I'm also going to cut a load out to share with my Happy Mail friends because I think they're really cool. And even if you didn't use photos in your journal, you could use them to frame any kind of image or whatever you wanted to do. So yes, on this page, I've just used some washi tape. I used a little bit more of that pet tape that I love. I thought this image was perfect because we had just such terrible weather on the second day that we were in the Peak District. Yeah, the weather was awful, so we didn't explore very much, but luckily it didn't matter. We managed to get out early in the morning with the dogs and give them plenty of fun with the ball. You can see you in there, and he's recently trained them. We used to use a frisbee, but he's recently trained them. So he has two balls and he throws one way and River goes for that, and then he throws the other ball the other way and Nimue goes for that. Because before we just used to throw a frisbee and then River would always catch it, and then Nimue would like fight it for it and steal it and bring it back. So we were having these squabbles. So this new way with the balls, one going one way, one going the other way, they can run like crazy. They bring the balls back because they're wonderful. And it just worked perfectly. And then they're like well worn out and happy and ready to come back. Where I'm sorry, vegetarians, we bought them some bones to chew on. And they were happy as Larry. So that was perfect. And on this rainy day, we couldn't explore very much, but I invited our younger daughter to join us because my older daughter was camping with her family, but my younger daughter, she came and joined us in our little lodge, and she joined us in the hot tub, and then we had an extra person to play games with, which was absolutely fantastic, and we just laughed so much. And it was really good for all of us to have that quality time together. And so that is my last page in my little travel journal for just a mini break. So I'm just going to go back and start from the beginning and do a quick flip. And then I'll show you my sketch journal for those of you that are interested. So that was my cover page, my packing list, my campsite information, our visit to the Dovedale and the Dovedale stepping stones, and then exploring the glorious countryside around it. Then we arrived at our lodge, which I think was a glorified shed, but that was perfect for us. And there's Theo having a wonderful time being a child. And then on our second day, playing with our dogs, pointing out the rain, and then we had lots of fun with our daughter. So that is the end of my little travel log in my regular size traveller's notebook. But there is more. Don't leave me yet. There is more. So, it might be a little bit underwhelming, but I have my little passport size in the camel colour. And this one is so patinaed. I always like to show, when I get this one out, the difference. These are both camels, guys. This one is so patinaed. And this one's been used a lot, but it's still not patinaing to anything like this colour. So I don't know what goes on with Travellers Company camel coloured notebooks, but you never know what you're going to get. And I just love both. I love both. And I keep thinking this one will go as dark as this one, but I don't know if it will, because I've used this tons. And you can see how it's got like marks, loads of marks on it. It's nowhere near going to this colour, but this one, I promise you, this one started out this colour. But you can't see because there's almost none of that colour left. There's a tiny bit left there of this colour. And it's patinaed away, and I love them both, and I don't mind at all. Anyway, let's get into this one. So this one I've set up for my trip to Paris, but I thought I'd try it out while I was away on my mini break. So I've got this little notebook in here, which is just the Travellers Company watercolour notebook with the perforated pages. Well, I didn't use that. I'm saving that for Paris. This is a little watercolour notebook that my friend Suzanne gifted to me. And I'm because she also gifted me this sticker with these beautiful birds. And I've done a couple of bird paintings in here. And that's what I want to use it for. So unless I see a bird that I really want to draw, I don't use that one. And then this was the little insert that I made before I went away. And it's like accordion insert. And let me show you the sketching that I did. But it's going to be hard on camera because it's really long. So I started off with a sketch of our car, which is this colour, but I'm not sure about the shape and the proportions. And then, as you can see, I've done a sketch of the stepping stones. And one of the things that I haven't done is add highlights, like either with a gel pen or gouache. I just haven't got to that yet, but I might do to see if I can make this look more like water. And here we've got that lovely image of the gorge with the river going through, which was a very murky colour. And so I just did a quick sketch of that, trying to see if it's all showing. It's going to be very long. Then I did a picture of our little lodge, which I really enjoyed doing these little sketches. Oh, and I forgot to say, Ewan was gifted some champagne at work, because he'd been there for a certain number of years. Anyway, it was a gift. And so we took the champagne with us and we saved it for when our daughter was there as well. So there was them 5 of us to have a little glass of champagne. That was really cool. But as you can see, I still haven't finished this sketch either. I need to put some writing on the label and to draw the champagne shooting out of the bottle. And not that we did that because we won't want to waste it. This was a funny little kitchenette area that was in our shed. I don't think I showed you a photo of that. I will try and insert one there. So that was my little sketch of that kitchenette area. And oh, I put some playing cards here. And what I was going to do to end this page was all the different games that we played while we were away. But I just haven't quite finished that yet. So yeah, that was my little accordion sketchbook of my little trip away. This this is a really cool, fun way to doodle about stuff. I mean, I can't decide. What do you think? Would it be better if I had my doodles in with my journal like I used to do? So I used to, if I was going away and I wanted to add a doodle, there's one of a burger that I ate that I drew with colour pencil. I just put them in my journal. Here's a breakfast that Ewan cooked for us. So I used to put my doodles straight in my journal in amongst my photographs and my writing. But this time I did this little accordion sketchbook because I wanted to give it a go, and it was really fun. But I was going to do this for Paris, but I've decided not, because you can't really, like, you can paint in that bit, but if you want to open it up, and then it starts to get to the point where you actually need a table. You need a table. So not sure how practical that is as a travel sketchbook. So I may not do, I will do more accordion sketchbooks because they're really fun, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it for Paris. So I don't know, I will decide. And that's what's been really fun about having a little mini break. I have been trying to decide what would work best for me in Paris. In terms of my supplies, everything was wonderful. I had everything I needed. I didn't at any point think, oh my goodness, I wish I had that with me. I had everything I needed to both journal and sketch. The only change is that I had this lovely pin that my friend Dawn gifted to me, and I put it on my rucksack and it fell off. And I was so happy that I spotted it falling off. I was getting into the car because it was raining, I was rushing, and I heard this cling, and it was my little pin falling off my rucksack. And I thought, that is not the right place for that pin. So I have moved it, and you will all know from my packing, if you've seen previous videos, you won't if you haven't, I have this beautiful Euroloopy pouch, A5 pouch that I am using, shift my journals, that I am using to keep all my supplies in so that I can journal on the go. And I decided to move my pin, and it's now living here. It's safely inside my Euroloopy pouch. And yeah, it's safely inside here with all of my supplies that I take away with me, and I can still see it, and it's still my journaling traveler's notebook pin, but I'm not going to lose it, because when it fell off, oh my goodness, just imagine if I'd lost it. I would have been so gutted. It would have broken my heart. What am I like? But it would, because it was gifted to me, and so it's super special. So now it's safe inside there, and I'm not going to lose it. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I will leave you there, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.